Hey there, friend. Welcome to another practice. Open your heart. Luna got her actor's fee, her actress's fee, so she's paid and she's probably gonna leave very soon. Anyway, today's practice, open your heart. It's lots of heart openers. It was Valentine's week, so and Valentine's Day maybe isn't your jam, but the theme for my week in teaching has been self-love. And this is something that I haven't had for very long, and it's something that it's still a little rocky for me, and I kind of talk about it in the video. But for your practice, you'll need your mat, bolster, or 2 blocks. We're gonna do supported fish pose, but you'll need a block and a bolster for the yogi ramp. If you don't have any of those things, I offer modifications. So some of the things that we're using props for, you can do seated or standing. I will break that down in the video. But we're focusing on our heart space and our chest and opening up and doing a meditation at the end that allows you to clear any junk that's in your mind that can free up the space for your heart to speak and talk to you. Because our heart is our true cheerleader and it's what supports us. Your heart is where you can be fully present. A lot of times when we're up in our head, we're living in the past or living in the future. So if we can cultivate that time and space and connection with our heart, we can come back to the present, okay? So grab your props, grab your mat. I say it in the video, this one's a little chatty. I have a lot of personal stories around self-love, so it's a little less asana and a little more lecture. So if you're really, we do move the body, but if you're really looking to like get a lot of postures in, maybe pick a different video for your practice right now. But if you're needing some heart connection time, this puppy will get you. All right, I will see you in just a few moments. Hey Yogi, I'm gonna have you start on your mat. You can start, and there she goes. One of these days, maybe she'll enjoy being on camera. I doubt it. I'm gonna have you start in Shavasana, which is whatever is most comfortable for you. So Shavasana is usually on your back flat, but not everybody can lay that way comfortably. So come to a position of rest that is comfortable for you, that allows your airway to be open. So maybe you're on your back, maybe you're in the fetal position, perhaps you have butterfly legs, but starting out in a position of rest so that you can tap into the body. So close your eyes, get into your position, and maybe you're softening your gaze instead of closing your eyes. Perhaps that is more restful for you. Sometimes when people close their eyes, it brings them anxiety unless they're trying to go to bed. So taking positions and postures that work for you, it's very important. And this is why we practice yoga, so that we know our bodies and we know, oh, this is making me freak out a little bit, or oh, this feels really good, I like that. Anyway, so taking a moment to settle in with your breath, to sink into the body, and to notice where you are today. You are playing the role of the observer. You're not judging, not holding any sort of attachments as best you can, but really climbing down into the body so that you can navigate who you are and what you need. Today's practice, open your heart, as I said, lots of heart openers. But when we allow space for our heart, we allow ourselves to get to know who we are better, to come into connection with our highest true self and our highest true potential. So as you continue to map out your breath, move around your body with your awareness, not like wiggling, and notice what's going on. How do you feel? Maybe you're sore from an intense workout. Maybe your schedule is extremely busy right now, like mine is, so your body's just fatigued, and that is okay too. But knowing this about yourself, so you know, I need to rest, I need a day to restore, they're good to know so that you don't reach burnout. Perhaps you have parts of yourself that you are clenching or subconsciously, that you're holding up. So continue to scan and check. Notice your alignment. This has been a big thing in my world lately. I've been taking a webinar series called How Yoga Heals, and it's been, oh my gosh, it's been truly amazing and just changing. This is the third time I've done it, and it's just lovely. But the big thing is alignment. So however you are positioned, if you are on your back, is everything as symmetrical as it can be? Like, is one shoulder higher than the other? Maybe you're releasing that down, making sure the pelvis is as square as it will be, and that things are in their natural alignment. And now take a moment to come into your emotional body. See how you are today, how you feel on an emotional, spiritual level. Again, no attachments, checking in, seeing where you are. And now recapping for a moment how your headspace has been, either within the last hour, maybe the day, the week. Recap how you want to recap. But if the mind has been frantic, maybe focusing on, when can I get down into my body? How can I get down into my body? This is what I've been grappling with, well, my whole life. Let's be honest. My mind is extremely frantic. It's very, very busy all the time, to the point that I wish there was a switch that I could flick on and off, because it's very taxing. And those of you that have a very vigorous mind, you know what I'm talking about. So recapping where your headspace is, and just knowing that can be very helpful. Come back to the breath, take 2 more. Completely present with the inhalation and the exhalation. One more time, breathing all the way in, fill up your belly, and breathe all the way back out again, softening as you release the breath. From here, you can plant the feet for half corpse pose if they're not there already, and you're going to pivot them to the edges of your mat, or maybe just a little bit wider than hip width, whatever is best for you. And just taking a little bit of time to get some motion going. So as you inhale, the legs can come down to the right. As you exhale, they can come to center. You can breathe as you move. Maybe you're inhaling to center and exhaling to drop. But when we move with our breath, it brings us back into the present. And the present is also where our heart can speak to us best. We have lots of time with our mind. We have lots of time up here in our brain space, but we don't always live down in our heart, and we don't always talk from our heart space. There's that term, speak from the heart, and it's so true. But getting into that relationship with your heart and growing it is very, very important for self-love, which is my theme for the week. I've been picking, well, this is the first week I've done it, but I'm going to start picking themes for my week when I teach, because it'll make things more organized and just better for everybody. So self-love, it was Valentine's Day yesterday, and when this video drops, it'll be a few days since Valentine's Day has been, which isn't really a holiday we celebrate. My husband and I, we did it a couple weekends ago, but it's gotten commercialized or whatever, so that's just, not really our thing, but we still do what we want around love. But so coming back to self-love, because I know Valentine's Day isn't always a great holiday for people, take 1 more on each side. So focusing on cultivating love for you, and then shining it outward. All right, last drop. I did an extra one, that's okay. Take your feet high for happy baby. This is a good playfulness pose. It's just kind of fun to roll around, so do your thing. You'll feel your chest open because your hands are gripping the outsides of your feet, so it's allowing the shoulders to spread and the pecs and the heart to open wide. So in your happy baby, if you're rocking or still, it's up to you. Breathe into your heart space. Be with your heart. In other cultures, the head and the heart are the same thing. They don't distinguish between the two of them. They're equally the same. So in those cultures, people are speaking from their heart all the time because their head and the heart are one, which is a lovely concept and something that I really want to I really want to work into, because my brain is mean sometimes. Oh goodness. All right, one more breath and you're happy baby. And then exhale to release the knees and the chest. If you want to rock side to side, you can. You're going to locate your props. So if you have a bolster, we're going to do supported fish pose. And if you don't have bolsters or blocks, or you can roll up a blanket and use that. You want something long and cushy, for the most part, under your torso. But if you don't have any props that will work that way, you can do regular fish pose, which is up on your elbows, and then you're just lightly dropping your head back. But the goal here is to arch through your spine to open up the heart. So normal fish pose looks something like this. Yours is going to look a little different than mine. Be mindful of your neck. Mine's really tense, so dropping back for that much for me is a little extreme. So I might tuck my chin, but not too far, because we don't want to have extra flexion through our spine. So we want to try to keep those natural four curves in the spine. Otherwise, I don't do regular fish pose. It's always supported. You can take your bolster, bring it to the base of your back, and then you can, there it is. Lay back for this lovely, lovely heart opener. And if you don't have a bolster but you have two blocks, you can bring the blocks together and lie on those. So you can lie back on that. And some people just do it with one block, so that this is in the middle of their back and then their head drops back onto the earth. So taking the position that's best for you, being mindful if you have any shoulder, pec, neck injuries, and then softly come into your, my bolster moved, into your supported fish pose. Your arms can be out wide, or you can bring them a little closer to your sides, depending on what feels best for your body and what is most neutral. So you'll feel an opening in the tummy and an opening in the heart space. And sink in here with your breath. You're going to stay down, I'm going to come up. So self-love. A very wise family member once told me 4 years ago, before I had any self-love, and I might get a little emotional because this topic is, it's very sensitive for me. One of my family members, we were out on like a date. It was amazing. Echo, if you watch this, much love to you, my love. But Echo told me I was having such a hard time. Like I didn't know really who I was, like my identity was kind of in a state of crisis, and this was only 4 years ago. Like this was the spring before my yoga teacher training that I desperately needed, and that ultimately it saved my life. It really did. But Echo told me self-love isn't selfish, and they were absolutely right. I was thinking that taking care of myself was selfish because that energy could be spent on somebody else or somewhere else for the greater good, but me not being included in that story. So if you've had similar experiences like this, I invite you to really make that your mantra. Self-love isn't selfish. You need it, it's necessary. It makes you authentic, and appreciating who you are and loving who you are is how you come to step into your power, which is something I'm currently working on. So continue to breathe down into your belly, feel your heart open up, and as you exhale, feel the breath leave and feel yourself soften. And know that it's okay to be with yourself, to love yourself, to celebrate yourself. I recently, also this week, it got pointed out to me that I haven't necessarily stepped into my full power all the way because I don't want to appear as a show-off. This person doesn't know me very well, so it was very interesting that they had this little intuition message come in. But she's absolutely right. I don't want to come off as boisterous or showing off, as she put it. But that's not what self-love is. And so there are misconceptions behind self-love. I want you to take one more breath in your supported fish pose. I'm getting long-winded with these messages, but they're very important to me. And if they can unlock somebody else's prison, even if it's just one person, like I want to share that to help them out. You're gonna slowly come up off of your bolster. And if you were doing blocks but you have a bolster, I want you to bring your bolster in. And if you don't have a bolster, you can do this on your belly. It's the same thing. So we're gonna do some healthy spine work, because you want a healthy front, which is where your heart lives, but you also want a healthy back, which is where your spine is. And your spine is the highway to communication. So you want to keep any gunk, whether it be emotional, physical, you want to keep that gunk cleared out of your communication highway. So you're going to lay on your belly either on the floor or on your bolster, so that I'm sore, so that your head is resting on the floor. And your hands can either be cactus next to you, or you can bring them back behind you. So we're just working with the spine. This is going to be very, very subtle. Quick disclaimer, if you have osteopenia or osteoporosis, make sure that you don't go too far past the natural curve of your spine, because when we get into like extra extensions with the spine, people that have bones that like osteopenia or osteoporosis bones, it's easier for them to fracture things when they're like coming up and doing that extra extension in the spine. So making sure that if you suffer from either of those things, that you keep things fairly neutral, and you know your body, so you know if you can do those back bends or not. But you're going to rest your forehead down, and then as you inhale, you're just going to come up, lifting the head so it's neutral, or maybe you're going a teeny bit past, but these aren't big cobra bends. And then exhale to come back down. We're going to take 3 more. Inhale, up. Lifting with the strength in your back. Exhale, back down. Stay with your breath. These are slow. So in somatic motion, we want to focus on the activation and the release. 1 more. So you can feel your muscles activating, moving, and then as you exhale, you can feel them sinking and softening. You can make your way upright. And now we're going to head into dolphin dives. If you don't have a block and a bolster, you can do these kneeling. If kneeling doesn't work best for you, you can do them in a seated position. It's just a little harder to like roll through your belly, but you totally can still do it in seated. You can also do them standing. So we're rolling down through the body. I'm gonna build my yogi ramp real fast because it's just better for me. So yogi ramp, your block's on the lowest level, and then one end of the bolster's on the block, one's on the earth, and then you place your booty on the high side of the bolster. Okay, so we have mounted the yogi ramp. We're good to go. I always think of this like I'm saddling up when I get on my bolster like this. I don't know why. Anyway, dolphin dives. So you're gonna take a deep breath in, and then as you exhale, you're going to dive down with your heart first, and then your inhale will bring you back up out of the ocean, looking at the sun, gulping for air, and then exhale, back down you go, dive, dolphin, dive, getting into the water. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, dropping down back into the water. Staying with your breath slowly. Take these slow. And if you're finding that your motion is slower than your breath, just focus on the motion. You really want to try to roll through the body, focusing on moving in ways we don't to push things out. But your heart's leading this whole playfulness. So when you come up, really come up with your heart space. All right, 1 more. I don't remember how many I said we were gonna do, but we're gonna do 1 more. Okay.